Hi guys, Dave here, and today I'm going to show you the main guitar parts to I Knew You Were Waiting For Me by Aretha Franklin and George Michael. It's got some nice crunchy guitar parts on this, so should be a lot of fun to play. Okay, it's in the key of E, and I'm going to show you the main riff that you hear for the intro and the verses. Okay, so it's basically spelling out an E power chord in a way. So we're playing a top E on the 7th fret of the A, or on the first one, I think, and then just slightly palm muted all of this actually, but more on the top E string. Keeps it nice and tight sounding. Now this next bit's an overdub, but it's quite easy to incorporate into the part. So it's just a harmonic on the 7th fret of the A string, and it's just 4 times, down, up, down, up. And again, I'm palm muting it to keep it nice and tight, like that. And then you're going to play that same riff again, and add an extra E on the end. So the 2 bars together, like that, and then that 2-bar sequence gets repeated again, and that creates a bigger sequence with the chords. Okay, so that's the intro, and it's also the first part of the verse. Okay, for the bridge, the first 6 bars are just basically going between F sharp minor 7 and C sharp minor 7. But we're just going to play really small parts of the chord. So the first one, it's almost like a D shape, but I'm playing it up here on fret 9. And I'm just playing strings 2 and 3 for the first one. Then with an upstroke, I hit strings 1 and 2. And that's over the F sharp minor 7, and then for the C sharp minor 7, I'm just barring across fret 9 on strings 2, 3 and 4. Sometimes he only hits the 3rd and 4th strings, sometimes it's the 2nd. I don't think it's super important. As long as you're only hitting a small amount, that's the main thing. With the vibrato on these chords, I'm pretty sure it's done with the tremolo arm or whammy bar. It's got a more smoother sound than if you try and do it with your fingers. So, like so. Basically, he does that 3 times, and then we get this little build up with an A power chord. Starts off palm muting it, and then as he carries on, the palm mute gets less and the chord gets louder. So it's like that. Okay, the chorus riff. Basically, it's based on the E major pentatonic for the most part. And it goes like this. This sequence happens 3 times. So you just got the open E, little slide on the C sharp there. When I play these top E's, I tend to add a little bit of vibrato to them. That's bar 1, and then bar 2, very similar. Gets a little run up on the A string, finishing on the open E there. So that whole sequence. Okay, so that happens 3 times, and then we get these little kind of power chord pushes. The first one being F sharp 5 to C sharp 5. So 3 on this one. Single 1 on the C sharp. And then as soon as you play that C sharp, cut it off with the palm of the hand so it's nice and tight. And then the second one's going to be F sharp 5 again, and then we're going to play A5, hold it for a little bit longer, and then slide it off. Like that. Okay, at the end of the second chorus, we get this extra bar where it's just you hit the low E on the second beat, and then we kind of get a little push into the middle 8 section. You'll hear the timing on the slow playthrough, so I won't go into it too much. So it kind of goes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then on the 4 hand you start playing this little arpeggio. It's all going to be up there. But basically palm mute it, and he's just following the chords in the bridge. He's not doing it exactly correctly really, because it does go to an A minor on the second one, and he stays on an A major shape. I'll go through it anyway. So we get the first bit, so he's just palm muting it. I imagine it's all downstrokes when he does it. He does it again, but really the chord shouldn't be an A major, it should be an A minor. So that could be up to you whether you want to actually follow the chords, or if you just want to sound just like the record. He's staying on an A major, but really it should have been an A minor. So yeah, I'll leave that up to you. So, and then he comes down to basically an E chord, and then it's a G sharp major chord, like that. So with the little push, then you get this kind of little muted kind of funky part. Just on 2 notes, so we're just bouncing between a B and a C sharp, basically. And which is happening over a C sharp minor chord. So I can think of it as C sharp minor pentatonic if you want. Now you can put as much scratching in or bubble picking as you like in between this. It really does help to kind of make it sound a bit more funky, a bit more kind of rhythmic. But if I talk about the main hits, it's basically going to go up, down, then down, 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 bit of vibrato, and then on and up, and then up, down, up. So if I do it without any scratching in between, you get... But with a little bit more kind of bubble picking in between, it does give it a bit more of an edge. Kind of nice. And then the second bar, very similar. It just misses out the fourth beat. Then we're back into the little muted arpeggios for the A. And again, he stays on that A major shape when it should have been an A minor. Then the E major again. And then you get this little run down. At which point there must be a D chord on the synth playing. Holds that as a vibrato for the whole bar. And then we get these little power chord pushes again. Interesting this, the first one starts on beat 1. Then he kind of displaces it by 2 beats because the next time you play it, it starts on beat 3. So 2 lots of that, F sharp to C sharp. And then back on beat 1 for the F sharp to A. And that takes you to the end of the bridge. Okay, in the bridges before the choruses, there are a couple of little fills that happen. These all kind of, you can either think of them as C sharp minor pentatonic or E major pentatonic. They're the same set of notes either way you look at it. The first one, nice and simple. All done on the G string, sliding to 13, then 11, 9. Then the second one, sliding in again on the 11 on the D to 9 on the G, all in the tab here, so I don't really have to talk about this. Sliding on the A string. Now what I do is leave that finger on so the notes ring in, because you're going to basically end up with this little thirds shape that you're going to slide down. Like that, so let those notes ring into each other and then slide down 2 frets. On the second verse bridge section, it's the same thing, it does the same, but the second phrase is basically an octave up from what happened in verse 1. So this time I'm sliding on the B string, 14, 12 on the E, and this time sliding on the G, I don't know if the notes ring in this time. I think it might be just a single note sliding down for this one. But if you want to, you can hold that shape and do those just like in the first verse. So it's up to you. Or okay, that's it. That's all the parts. Okay, sound-wise, I'll just talk very briefly. I'm pretty sure he's using some sort of some Strat of some sort, maybe one with a humbucker in it for the crunch sound. I had a quick look on Wikipedia. It's a guy I'm not familiar with. It actually had as a credit that he was playing a Charvel. I don't know if that's actually right or not, but definitely it's that sort of a guitar though. It's definitely like a Strat with a whammy bar. As far as the sound I'm using, very simple. I'm using a brick plexi on the Helix, so basically a Marshall type amp kind of amp model. I put a little bit of overdrive in front of it as well. I'm using like their model of a Boss overdrive, but a very low setting. I didn't want it super saturated. It wants to be nice and tight. And the only other thing on here is a room reverb, and that should get you pretty close to the sound that's on the record. Okay guys, I hope you have a lot of fun putting this one together, and I'll see you for one real soon.